the world's oceans. A vast boundary that millions of dollars worth of trade and commerce must travel each year. Protecting these vital lines of communications is the job of the United States Navy. Since 1775, the name Enterprise has been a part of that commitment.
A long time ago, a long time ago, a long time ago.
The first Enterprise, a British sloop captured by American revolutionaries in the War for Independence, fought at Lake Champlain under General Benedict Arnold. The second was an armed schooner which escorted transports in Chesapeake Bay during that same war.
A long time ago.
As a 12-gun schooner, the third Enterprise fought against Barbary pirates and in the War of 1812. From 1831 to 1845, the fourth Enterprise, a 10-gun schooner, helped suppress the African slave trade. The fifth Enterprise was a steam corvette with added sail power, which served with the European Naval Squadron until 1891, when she was converted to a training ship. As a 66-foot harbor patrol vessel, the sixth Enterprise served in Newport, Rhode Island. The seventh and most decorated ship in naval history, the only ship to receive both the Presidential and Naval Unit citations, was the Big E. Through the island-hopping campaign in the Pacific during World War II, while she was the only active carrier, the Big E misled enemy intelligence into reporting her as 3 different ships, as well as fighting in the battles of Midway, Guadalcanal, Wake Island, and Kwajalein. Although sustaining heavy damage in battle on numerous occasions, the Big E remained unsinkable and was decommissioned following the war. February 4th, 1958 would mark the dawning of a new era of naval sea power, as the keel of the world's first nuclear-powered aircraft carrier was laid at the Newport News shipyard in Virginia. It would take 61,000 tons of structural steel, 625 miles of electrical cable, 3 million pounds of aluminum, and 2.5 years to complete. Then, on September 24th, 1960, the sound of shattering glass broke through the morning air as Mrs. William B. Franke, the wife of the Secretary of the Navy, christened the ship. The letters forming her name automatically lit as the water level rose and she floated from her keel blocks. Met by her escort tugs in the James River, she was ready for the completion of her outfitting. November 25th, 1961, the ship was ready. Commissioned CVN-65, the new aircraft carrier represented the most capable warship ever created. Time after time, she has proved her worth. From the Cuban Missile Blockade to the South China Sea off of Vietnam, from the Indian Ocean to the Mediterranean Sea, for 25 years she has known no equal serving her country and proudly carrying the name of her ancestors, the name of Enterprise. Pier 3, Naval Air Station, Alameda, California. Silent are the roaring sounds of flight operations. The final performance of the flight deck ballet is complete. Gone is the ambitious activity of the men below deck. The cruise is over now, but before it could even begin, the Enterprise team would train and be tested for nearly a year. In Navy terms, it's called workups. It was during workups that Enterprise hosted numerous visitors, such as former Washington Redskins head coach George Allen, top business executives, leaders of educational institutions, and even Hollywood stars, when Lee Horsley of TV's Matt Houston dropped in for a spell.
This ship is a beauty. I'm enjoying every minute of it here, and it's truly fascinating. It's good. This is the first time I've ever been underway on a carrier, and it's a lot different than when it's tied up to the dock, I can tell you that much. But I'm amazed at how efficiently everything runs, and I think it's just how much pride everybody takes in what they do around here. I had virtually no idea, and I just think that the teamwork, the captain and crew, and everybody's certainly been wonderful to me. And I still don't know where I am on the ship at any point in time, you know, so I get lost a lot. But
Enterprise not only hosted stars, but became a star when Paramount Pictures arrived to film parts of the smash movie hit Top Gun.
It was a great role, good film, really good film. And I got involved back in January. I just finished another film, actually in London, called Legend, and I was just looking for another role, and it was a great role for me to play.
My character's kind of the lighter side of the duo. I mean, Maverick might be a little more serious, and Goose is the one who probably graduated, you know, second to last out of his class at Annapolis. You know? I got a wife and a kid, and it's probably the best role in the movie.
During August 1985, Enterprise was center stage once again for the first national observance of the end of hostilities in the Pacific Theater during World War II. Vice President and Mrs. George Bush, accompanied by administration cabinet members and military heads of service, led the nation in commemoration of those who gave their lives in defense of our country.
Today we mark the 40th anniversary of the end of the greatest of all human cataclysms, a war that touched the lives of every man, woman, and child on the planet and shaped the world in which we live. Our soldiers and sailors and Marines fought with unparalleled courage. Today, the peace and prosperity of the Pacific stands as a monument to those who gave their lives 4 decades ago. Those who gave the last full measure of devotion will not have died in vain as long as the United States of America continues to be the land of the free and the home of the brave. It's all in our hands now.
Following his address, the Vice President tossed a memorial wreath into the waters of San Francisco Bay as ships passed in review and aircraft from all branches of the service flew in tribute overhead. Also in August, the Enterprise family got together for Dependence Day Cruise 1985, a one-day journey off the California coast.
Make a one man weep, make another man sing. Change your heart
In December, just prior to the upcoming deployment, Enterprise required a dry dock period at Hunters Point Shipyard in South San Francisco. The crew again proved unstoppable as final preparations for the cruise were completed. 5 a.m., January 12, 1986. Workups were over. It was time to depart. The mission? To conduct a 6-month deployment to the Western Pacific and Indian Ocean. On January 27th, Captain Robert L. Luschner was relieved as commanding officer by Captain Robert J. Spain.
During my tour as your CO, we've worked well together and achieved remarkable things together. I took command of an outstanding ship and an outstanding air wing and an outstanding team between the two of them. I chose to polish the rough edges, to try a few new things, to fine-tune a smooth-running machine, and you supported me splendidly. We're better off for having done this, and so is our Navy, and together we've improved the reputation of the USS Enterprise and Carrier Wing 11. From the people I talked to in Washington, we may be thought of as the best operators and the most combat-ready unit in the Navy. That's not a rumor, it's a fact, and it's a fact that each of you can be very proud of.
I'm extremely honored to be selected and assure you that I will do my best to preserve Enterprise's reputation of operational readiness, a ship that can do anything, anytime, anywhere, the true carrier with class. Captain Luschner, you have relinquished command of the finest ship in the Navy, and that's fact and not rumor. Your record of achievements is most outstanding. I wish you and Carlene the best and look forward to seeing you back as a flag officer on board Enterprise.
me. I'll be alone, dancing, you know it, baby. Tell me your troubles and doubts, giving me everything inside and out. And love strange, so real in the dark. Think of the tender things that we were working on. Slow change may pull us apart. When the light gets in your heart, baby, don't you forget about me. Don't you forget about me. Will you stand above me? Look my way, never love me. Rain keeps falling down, down, down. Will you recognize me? Call my name or walk on by. Rain keeps falling down, 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 down. Don't you try to pretend it's my feeling will win in the end. I won't harm you or touch your defenses. Vanity, insecurity. Don't you forget about me. I'll be alone, dancing, you know it, baby. Going to take you apart. I put us back together at heart, baby. Don't you forget about me. Don't you
Following the visit to Karachi, Rear Admiral Jonathan T. Howe was relieved as Commander Cruiser Destroyer Group 3 by Rear Admiral Paul David Miller.
Admiral Miller, I'm ready to be relieved. Chief of Staff, hold down my flag.
Aye, sir. Hold down the flag of Rear Admiral Howe, Commander Cruiser Destroyer Group 3.
Chief of Staff, break my flag.
Aye, sir. Break the flag of Rear Admiral Miller, Commander Cruiser Destroyer Group 3.
During his week-long visit to 4 Persian Gulf nations, Vice President Bush and his wife Barbara spent an afternoon on the aircraft carrier Enterprise, steaming in the North Arabian Sea. After being greeted by Rear Admiral Paul David Miller, the commander of Cruiser Destroyer Group 3, and Captain Robert J. Spain, the commanding officer of Enterprise, Vice President Bush ate lunch with Enterprise and carrier Air Wing 11 crewmen on the ship's mess decks. The Vice President is no stranger to Navy chow, having been commissioned as the youngest naval aviator in World War II, flying from the aircraft carrier San Jacinto. Following the meal,
United States on the bridge.
Mr. Bush entered the bridge and took his seat in the commanding officer's chair, where Captain Spain explained the navigational system. He and Mrs. Bush then viewed flight operations and spoke to the crew of USS Arkansas, which was passing in review on the starboard side of the Big E. The highlight of the visit was the re-enlistment of 24 Enterprise and Air Wing 11 crewmen by the Vice President, after which he said the Navy's presence in the Indian Ocean and Mediterranean Sea was of vital importance.
Here we are here now in one of the most troubled areas of the world, really, if you look around the globe. In the far end of the Gulf, a war is raging between Iran and Iraq. South of here, Yemen
has just been through a bloody upheaval. And up north and east a little, the Soviets are waging a brutal war against the Afghan people. And you men and this fleet are among the few convincing forces for stability in this conflict-torn region. Because of you, the Gulf remains open to international shipping, and that is a solemn commitment that the United States has to the rest of the free world. Because of you, countries will think twice about fundamentally upsetting the balance of power in this area. Because of you, some of the most important trade routes in the world remain secure. This year is the 75th anniversary of naval aviation, and 2 weeks ago, some of our aviators gave the Navy, what I'd say, and the American people as well, a great big birthday present after an arrogant Colonel Gaddafi attacked units of our task force in the Mediterranean. Nobody waited, Admiral Kelso nor the men didn't have to wait to ask questions. They did teach Gaddafi a lesson. We're proud of what they did for the United States of America, and some say in some parts of the world, well, this made Gaddafi taller. I don't see how you can be taller when your nose has been bloody and you shrunk about 3 feet.
At the conclusion of the ceremony, Vice President Bush again took to the cockpit, but this time it was in a jet-powered F-14 and not the propeller-driven Avenger that he flew in World War II. Just prior to departing, Vice President and Mrs. Bush took a moment to address the families of Enterprise.
Well, to the families of the men on Enterprise, let me say you can tell from my lapel pin that I'm somewhere off Oman with the Big E. I think the biggest inspiration for Barbara and me has been seeing the young men, officers and men, most of them young, that serve in this fantastic carrier and that are protecting the freedom for the United States of America. And one of the messages that I was privileged to deliver on behalf of the President today related to the importance we place in the quality of the men and women serving in the United States Navy. It's never been finer, and we are fighting for a 600-ship Navy. But even more important, even more fundamental to the security of the United States and the safety of all of us in our great free country are the people from the Admiral right on down to the lowest seaman that man this great vessel and other vessels like her all around the world. So for me, on this diplomatic mission, this stop to see America overseas, strong and proud, has been the highlight of this visit. I wish every one of you and the families of those who serve in Enterprise could have been in Barbara's shoes and mine today. You'd have been as proud as we are. Thank you very much.
Great. At the conclusion of his visit, there was no doubt that this would be a day that would live long in the memories of the entire Enterprise crew. And as the helicopter's rotors turned, one could not help the feeling of pride and purpose the Vice President had pointed out in his address to the crew, that ours is a nation dedicated to the principles of freedom. It requires much of our leaders and every American. We on board Enterprise stand ready to answer our nation's call. Just 16 days later, the nation did call.
This is the captain speaking. We have just received orders from higher authority to turn the ship around and proceed at best speed through the Suez Canal to relieve the USS Coral Sea on station off the Libyan coast. I'd like all hands to make preparations and ensure they're ready for any eventuality. That's all I have. Have a nice day.
The Enterprise Battle Group was operating in the Indian Ocean April 25th when word was sent to proceed at best speed through the Red Sea and Suez Canal. The 12-hour voyage through the canal was a first in a number of ways. Enterprise and her 5 accompanying ships became the first nuclear-powered carrier battle group in history to transit the Suez. Enterprise also became the first 7-fleet carrier to sail into the Med through the canal. At about the midway point of the battle group's transit through the 103-mile-long canal, a car sped alongside on a highway, stopped, and the occupants jumped out and unfurled an American flag to the cheers of Enterprise crewmen. When USS Enterprise left Alameda, California in January for its 12th major overseas deployment, it was a bit different than usual. Instead of a rousing departure with balloons and brass bands, there was the enveloping darkness of 4 in the morning. But the one thing that wasn't different was the tearful goodbyes from the Enterprise wives. Even a pre-dawn Sunday wouldn't keep them away. Navy spouses have a tough job. Some even say the toughest in the Navy. While their loved ones are hard at work overseas, they must manage the entire household, from paying the bills to problems with the car and taking care of the children. Navy spouses must be able to handle it all. To show their appreciation for all the work that goes into being a Navy spouse, Enterprise sailors got together on the flight deck while visiting Naples, Italy. The message speaks for itself.
A lot of times, spouses, particularly wives, since we're on an aircraft carrier and there are no women assigned to the crew, wives play a vital and important part in the business that we do. We're deployed right now, of course, and the wife has all the responsibility at home of taking care of the bills, the car which breaks down the day after deployment, and making sure that the children get to school, making sure that the children are taken care of. It certainly takes a load off my mind, I know, when I can be rest assured that my wife is managing the situation back on the home front. that's just one less thing for me to be worried about in my busy day, and I'm sure that that's the way a lot of the other fellows feel about it.
I wouldn't be here today. I know I wouldn't still be even in the Navy if it wasn't for my wife. She's been a total support for everything that I've ever done in the Navy. This is about the 5th care package since the cruise started, you know, and that's just standard for her.
It is quite hard for the sailor itself, but I think it's more difficult for the part of the wife who has to take care of everything without the military member present at home.
Well, my wife has supported me 110% of the time. I believe we ought to give all the wives a medal at the very least. Certainly one day a year of appreciation is not enough, but it is an indication that we do appreciate the great efforts that they make in keeping this family satisfied and keeping the home fires burning while we're gone.
After more than 5 months away from home, America came to Enterprise in the form of the Miss USA USO show. Christy Fitchner, Miss USA, along with 8 members of her court, comedian Gail Boggs and Master of Ceremonies Michael Young, put on a tremendous show.
We all like to meet you, tell you who we are. We're from different places and we travel far. New York is where I'm from. My name is Beth and it's you I'm pleased to meet. My name is Audra, Kansas is my home. I'm a simple down-home girl, but I like to roam. Lisa is my name, New Jersey's where I'm from. I hope you like my kisses, cause I plan to give you. You can call me Kelly from Hollywood and Vine. If you're in California, come and see me sometime. I love sunshine, that's what we need. If we're ever gonna get up speed. From the Eastern Ocean to the Western Sea. Love emotion's gonna carry me. Hi y'all, I'm Monique Karen and I'm from Tennessee. Country is my music, won't you sing along with me? Ohio is the greatest state, England is the best. Call me Hallie if you want, I'll love you like the rest. My friends call me Barbara, and Missouri is the place. And I'll play my fiddle just for you if you can keep the pace. Hi boys, I'm Christy. She's Miss USA. Plan to entertain you and we'll make your day. That locomotion underneath the sun. Gonna sing and dance for you and have some fun. We all love our sailor boys so much more than the rest. Gonna spend our time with you cause you're the best. That locomotion, that's what we need. If we're ever gonna get up speed. From the Eastern Ocean to the Western Sea. Don't stop the piston stroking. Don't stop the fire stoking. Don't keep the music smoking. Stop the smoking, you gotta be joking. Locomotion's gonna carry me. You know, they first asked me to come over here. They said, Gail, my agent calls me up. She says, how would you like to go to the Mediterranean for a few days? Do a little sailing, meet a lot of men, some sun. I thought, Club Med, okay. But instead, I'm with the Navy. You know, we in Sigonella, we have bodyguards all over the place. We've got the Navy bodyguards and we got the Marine bodyguards. All we need is 2 Marines on us, you know what I'm saying? They look like this. I dare somebody to even breathe this way. You know, the Navy, they're gentlemen about the whole thing. They're just real cool. And at the same time, don't mess with the Navy either. But the Marines, all you need is 2, baby. They're like the Doberman pensions.
You know, to be Miss USA, one of the principal requirements is you must be single. Is that right?
Yeah.
And, Christy, you're not engaged?
No, but I'm looking.
What kind of guy are you looking for?
I'm looking for a guy that can protect me. Can any of you guys do that?
Any of you guys breathing? Any of you guys breathing hard?
If you're not breathing, I'm good at mouth to mouth.
Oh, heck, she's all yours. Go ahead.
At the conclusion of the show, Miss USA promoted designated crewmen to their new rank.
By the powers vested in me from Captain Rocky Spain, commanding officer of the USS Enterprise, I hereby promote the designated petty officers to the rank of first and second class petty officers. Congratulations!
2 weeks after the Miss USA USO show, Enterprise received orders to head through the Straits of Gibraltar and proceed south around Africa back to the Indian Ocean. During this portion of the cruise, the ship crossed the equator and entered the realm of Davy Jones. Jones appeared on board with his trusty shellbacks to cleanse the ship of its wogs. A shellback is one who has crossed the equator aboard a naval vessel before. A wog is one who has not. Wogs are cleansed through a time-honored and voluntary ceremony, and while it may look a bit harsh, it was all in fun.
There'll be no
trailhead full of zombies. I met a strange lady, she made me nervous. She took me in and gave me breakfast. And she said, do you come from a land down under? Where women go and men wonder. Can't you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover. Buying bread from a man in Brussels. He was 6'4",
how's it feel to be going home?
Hey, real great, man. I'm ready to get back to my wife. I miss her so much. Can't wait till that day we pull in.
It feels pretty good to be going home, surprisingly enough. It's nice to be out with the boys for a while, but I'm ready to go home to the wife.
I'm looking forward to getting back and seeing my loved ones, and I'm sure that they're looking forward to getting back and seeing me, and I know that everyone else on the ship probably feels the same. It's going to be nice to get back after a long at-sea period, and I know everyone's going to be happy to see their loved ones.
I can't wait to get home. Miss my family a lot. And my girl.
Oh, it feels great, man. I'm glad we're going back that way and everything. I'm happy.
I think it's just great. I'm really looking forward to getting back. It's been a pretty long cruise, and I miss my children very much. My wife has been over to visit me overseas, so she's seen me a little bit, but of course I miss her as well, and it'd be nice to see my son in Hawaii. Great. I've been waiting for this moment.
For the final leg of the journey home, Enterprise crewmen were joined by their tigers, male relatives and friends who would experience firsthand what life aboard a carrier is all about. 6, a few hours from home. What had begun as a routine 6-month deployment had turned into a 7-month voyage of historical proportions. During the year of the 75th anniversary of naval aviation and the 25th birthday of the Enterprise, the Big E became the first nuclear-powered aircraft carrier to transit the Suez Canal when she returned to the Mediterranean after more than 2 decades. She steamed over 58,000 nautical miles, equivalent to more than twice around the world. As the crew prepared to greet their wives, children, parents, and other loved ones, many reflected on the past 7 months. The 1986 Enterprise cruise tape was produced by Lieutenant J.G. Jim Fallon, JO1 James Jackson, JO3 Steve Moose, JO3 Joe Bortle, JO3 Charles Archer, JOSN Kevin Peterson, Seaman Mark Pankey, Seaman Corey McCardle, Seaman Rich Henson, and JO2 Brett Bonner.